Has Serena Williams failed young girls everywhere? Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome back to Abby's Kitchen. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like every single week there is a new celebrity sharing that they are on Ozempic. And I get for many of you, the Ozempic era has been very reassuring and freeing just based on your own personal goals. While for others, seeing bodies shrink at a rapid clip can be very startling and upsetting, especially when it feels like we had finally made progress with body acceptance. My goal here is to create a safe place for all of these reactions and everything in between. So in today's episode of the Ozempic Diaries, I want to dive into the latest wave of celebrities on GLP-1s and explore what it means for the rest of us. As a dietitian, I will share both my professional perspective and the nuance because this issue sure as hell isn't black and white. All right, a very fast disclaimer here. We, of course, will be discussing weight loss and weight loss medications, so please feel free to take care and tune out if this is not a safe subject for you. Also, this is never a replacement for medical advice, so always speak to your healthcare provider about your unique needs. All right, folks, so we knew that Ozempic was going to change the way we think about weight, but it does feel like it is kind of fully stepped into the spotlight as of late. That rhymed. But let's start by briefly talking about Lizzo. So Lizzo was always really one of the few pop stars who didn't fit the kind of thin Hollywood ideal and who owned her body unapologetically. And because of that, I'm sure a lot of folks felt seen and validated through her success. So when she did begin losing weight and eventually disclosed that she was using a GLP-1 to do so, a lot of her fans spoke out that they were feeling a bit shocked and betrayed. And I get it. You know, representation really does matter. And it matters even now more than ever when it feels like everyone is just kind of starting to look the same. But here's a really important thing I want you to think about. Lizzo never signed up to be the poster child for body positivity. She was just living her life in a larger body, and we put the Bopo crown on her head. She is a human being and she has her own needs and body autonomy, who is also trying to tread the waters of diet culture in Hollywood. And of course, we're allowed to feel disappointed, but I don't think it's fair to hate the player when it's ultimately the game that is broken. Where things get a little bit trickier is when a celebrity has built their brand on body acceptance. So think Meghan Trainor. She explicitly gave us anthems about rejecting Barbie doll beauty standards, but she is now openly using a GLP-1 and has even partnered with a breast implant company. Now, I want to just reinforce something that I've said many, many times here. I'm all for body autonomy, which includes weight loss surgery, drugs, plastic surgery, dieting, and really any other acts that you engage with that bring you joy. And I'm also a big believer that people can and probably should change their minds on things as they evolve and grow and their values change to reflect their circumstances and their experiences. Meghan today is not the same Meghan who wrote All About That Bass at age 19. She's older, she's a mom, and she's had new experiences that may have shifted her relationship with her body. And that is completely human. But when celebrities' bodies and choices become intertwined with their kind of quote-unquote brand, those decisions inevitably affect how fans will perceive them. And it's not just Meghan who is feeling this. So actors like Rebel Wilson, Amy Schumer, and Josh Gad, who have been typecast in larger body roles, are now confronting the question of what happens when I don't fit that box anymore. As Josh Gad said, I've always been the funny fat guy. Can I be the funny skinny guy? Can I be the hot leading man? I'm not sure people will accept me as those things. These shifts can have real career and branding consequences, which then can complicate these people's choices even further. Now, the most recent controversy is with Serena Williams. Not only did Serena openly go on a GLP-1, but she partnered partnered with a telehealth company that prescribes them. And of course, the reactions have been mixed. So some of course shame her for quote unquote giving in to body pressure. Some may feel hopeless, thinking if someone with all of this access and support can't lose weight quote unquote naturally, how the heck can I? And others praise her for destigmatizing this choice. Honestly, I can appreciate all of these perspectives. You know, Serena has always come across as so confident in her strong, athletic body. So I can imagine for a lot of folks, it may feel very disappointing to see her attach herself to this new weight loss narrative. But at the same time, I also admire her willingness to assert her own body autonomy despite the scrutiny. And let's remember, Serena has endured relentless criticism her entire career, not just as a woman, but as a Black woman. Her hair, her outfits, her body, all dissected while her record-breaking achievements were sidelined. So again, the question becomes, who are we to dictate what she does with her body? And this is where I do have some empathy. Celebrities are not immune to diet culture. And if anything, they're probably its biggest casualties. Their bodies are constantly under a microscope, picked apart, compared, ridiculed. It's horrible. So for women, and particularly for women of color, it's not just about their talent. It's about whether they gained 5 pounds or what they wore, how their body looked from one event to the next. So yes, celebrities do have money and resources, of course, but they also live under a level of body surveillance that most of us could just never even imagine. And in that context, GLP-1s may feel less like a vanity project to them and more just like complete survival. As I was once told as a young actor by my agent at the time, if everyone else at the auditions lies and says that they can juggle or dance and you don't tell them that you can juggle or dance, you will not get the part. So yeah, it is very to be in this bind. But again, I don't think we should be hating the player. We should be hating the game. But here's the complication. Celebrities aren't just individuals. They are influencers with massive cultural sway. And being transparent about using a GLP-1 may be one thing, but getting paid to promote it en masse is another. And so when celebrities endorse these drugs, they do risk reinforcing the message that smaller is always better. That even the most successful, powerful people still need to shrink their bodies to be worthy. Not to mention, these are serious medications and surgeries, you know? Like Serena and Meghan aren't promoting like a new brand of shapewear or like a lipstick shade. They are promoting something that carries risks, side effects, and certainly is not suitable for everyone. Like even the best drugs in the world won't be right for everyone. So for example, I would never want to recommend Ozempic to someone recovering from a restrictive eating disorder. But ultimately, you can't control who is seeing those ads as they drive down the highway in their car. So as a healthcare professional myself, I firmly believe that medication decisions should always be made privately with a doctor, not influenced by celebrity endorsements who ultimately have no place talking en masse about medical devices or pharmaceuticals in the first place. And listen, I ultimately have so much compassion for celebrities navigating this kind of new skinny is back era, just like the rest of us. But compassion doesn't erase responsibility. And so the way I see it, you know, making a private choice about your body is totally fair game. Sharing that choice publicly gets into a bit of a gray area, but profiting from it on a mass scale, that to me feels like it's gone too far. But at the end of the day, the bigger problem really is not the individual celebrity. It is the system that traps all of us, famous or not, in impossible double standards, making it really hard to know where autonomy ends and diet culture begins. And dismantling that system? Well, obviously, that is a conversation for another day. And she's a big one. But on that note, that's where I'm going to close things off for today. I would love if you would leave me a respectful and a kind comment below. You know, where do you land on all this? I would love to hear your thoughts. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!